Okay, thank you, Francesco. Thank you, Barbara. I hope Edward is here because he sent me a question and that I will try to reply later about the breathing. I want to remember to all of you that saying breathing is just not very appropriate. We use it for convention, but it's not about breathing. It's about moving what the Chinese call our dantian or our waist, with all the connections with the stance, with the upper body, with the diaphragm, and the air that goes up and down, in and out, really, actually. So I will reply to Edward's questions that asked me on a part of the Tit Sin Kuen, how the breathing goes on there, and I understand that's when the form in one of the first lateral section, when the form turns under the 90 degrees. So that was it. The other thing was that I received several questions about the basic forms. The basic forms, according to what I knew back in the days, during the Lam Sai Wing style, the basic forms were the Kung Che Fok Fo, that was the first form to be taught to the beginners. Well, the beginners apparently started with the stances, with the basic techniques, with the something and other very easy and basic techniques. Then they moved immediately to Kung Che Fok Fo, which is a long, complex form, but there are not so many difficult parts. It's quite simple to understand. The next step was the Fu Hock Cheung Yee Keung. That is the first form where you really start understanding the idea of the attack line and how to get out of it while approaching or counterattacking, or anyway replying to what comes from your opponent. And there's a few interesting things like the crane, and that goes out, and also the drunk man that we saw yesterday. And those are interesting, very interesting part. Then there is the si-hing Kuen that some people also train half. So the first half, that is Hung Kuen. So there's a small difference, because in the si-hing Kuen the animals are long se fu pao ok. So the dragon, the snake, the tiger, the leopard, and the crane. And in the Yin Kuen, so the part with just the animals, they are long se pao fu hok. So there's the pao, the leopard and the tiger are inverted just for the sequence benefit. So it gets better because it has to be long se pao fu hok. It works better that way. And so that's it. That what I was taught this way, and I don't know if it's true. And then here you could really start understanding the bridges, most of the bridges, and the animals are the means to reach that end. That is starting understanding the bridges, feeling the bridges, and getting into more sophisticated movements, and also the beginning, the snake, for instance, is quite difficult. There's 3 steps instead of 2. There's more things. So there's a lot of stuff that is, if you focus on it with an open mind, you understand that is very useful for getting familiar with the bridges and with the movement of the waist. And then eventually there is the Tit Sin Kuen, that is the sum of everything, and where all the fancy stuff, so the elements and the wood and the fire and the gold and stuff are left behind. They are overcome, and where you go back to basic of the pure technique, the pure control of the body, and the most holistic way. So that's it. So this was the original set, according to what I learned and what I was taught. I was said back in the days. Then apparently between the end of the 60s and the beginning of the 70s, Mui Fa Kun came out. Mui Fa Kun, you can see from how it's built, that is a more modern form. It has some movements that come in that are different. There's a different feeling, fresher feeling. So Mui Fa Kun is what the master needs to introduce the art to the beginners, because it's short, because it covers all the stances, because the tiger is very easy, simple, and that's it. Then came in Lao Ga Kun, so the form of the Lao family, and which is interesting because it has different animals. There's the phoenix, the eye of the phoenix. There's stuff. There's a simple. There's the beginning of the butterfly pound, simple because there's no leg crossings, and that's it. And then eventually, but I really don't know when it came, because the Wudip Cheung, all these 7 sets were there when I started. Because, for instance, the Wudip Cheung was my si-hing Kompui Wai's favorite form. He was a tiger when he showed his Wudip Cheung. But he told me that Wudip Cheung was pretty new at the time. So probably was something that came from other school and was adapted. If in fact there's a lot of movements that you are not familiar, that they don't look familiar, they don't look really close to the Hung style. So in my opinion, and according to what I learned, the four big forms are what came from Wong Fei Hung's work of synthesizing stuff from different cultures and traditions, and creating what is, in my opinion, the best looking, the most valuable, the nicest Kung Fu school in the world. So the Hung style, which of course I've been practicing it for nearly half a century, so it's best. But I think it's no surprise that is so widespread around. Our goal is to keep it pure, clean, and traditional. So that's it. Let's go back to Edward question. So Edward asked me so again with the salute, let's do it. So I get it's quite cold today, and I'm cold, so I do it. Hey. Oh. Hey. Wow. Oh. Hey. Hey. So this is the section where Edward asked how the breathing goes on. So we just made our translation, okay? Full, empty, release. Hey, empty, release. Empty, release. Look back. While turning, you start letting letting the air go. Empty, release. Empty, release. Empty, release. Empty, release. Take. Empty, release. Empty, release. Empty, release. Empty, release. Empty, release. Hey. Empty, release. Empty, release. Empty, release. Oh. Empty, release. Empty, release. Hey. Empty, release. Empty, release. Okay. Now I do it the other side without saying empty, release, and go on. Hey. 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 Oh. And now we start with the new part that we just saw yesterday, okay? With the different second translation, okay? We keep the left below because we are working that way, and this is outside, so the left is below. Oh! Hey! Hey! Oh! Okay. Let's do it the other side. Right below. Oh! Hey! Hey! Oh! Things to remember. Translation, when you do your translation, oh, do not go back. There's a slight movement of the center of gravity, obviously, to unload the right leg. But remember that if your weight is correctly on the front of your feet, it will be easy. If you have the weight on the heels and or your legs are too inside or the position is not efficient, it will be a mess. So it's here, just slight movement this way. Hey, this P is there's two things that go to crowd the space of the opponent. One is the fact that after slightly moving the center of gravity on the left leg to unload the right, you have to go back, so you invade a few centimeters, a couple of centimeters, not much. Hey, then, hey, this is confusing for the opponent because you are doing this fun, so you're opening, and it looks like you're going back, but in fact, you are not retreating at all. You are just changing your relation with the opponent by invading his space, invading his space with the expansion of your upper expansion. Thank you, Dorillo Rota, that gave me this wonderful image of expansion that I never brought to my consciousness before. I did it without calling it expansion, which is the best way to describe it. So it's all copyright of my good friend, Master Dorillo Rota, a real master. And so there is this. You open with fun, that's fun, but you do not retreat. And remember the weight of this is a shaping ma, is not as short as the short shaping ma can see it, as a real shaping ma. And you also do, the other one is the ting ma, when you change, that starts from the waist, okay, not from the leg. If you use just the leg, you might forget to use the weight. It starts from the weight and goes there. Okay, so it brings the energy there. So, again, slightly back. Hey, P, fun. Hey, surprise. Mm. And again, striking ma. It looks, it sounds like you're retreating, but in fact, you're not. Okay, because you can expand it. Let's do it the other side. So we're doing stuff here that you will see in the next days. We are back. We're not supposed to have every breathing in this scene, but talking and doing the breathing at the moment is not easy, actually. So, slightly. Hey. Hey. When the other day we spoke about the emotions. The emotions in the Hung style, according to what I learned from Master Chan Hon Chung, are not hard-coded in the forms. They are there. You can find them. You can find the sorrow, the surprise, the anger, and it comes out natural. This is, hey, this is surprise. Okay, so it's hey, hey. Okay, I've seen few people going ha 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 here. Also in my school, here later, and in the early 2Ks when I went back to Hong Kong after quite a long period without going there, and this, hey, I, from time to time became again when I learned the form from Master Chan Hon Chung and from my si-hing Cheung Yee Keung, the night, because I went daytime, I went to the cottage, the long, really tiring way with buses and buses or by car with Sifu's Mercedes that used to be brown and then became white, or it was brown, white, and then became brown. Always the same car, very old. And the Sifu was really funny when he drove. It was very slow. and then in the night, I put together the parts because already in 1984, Master Chan was sometimes kind of messing up things. So especially the sequence of the movements changed. Well, it happens to everybody to forget a part. Myself, when I practice the form, if I have to explain it, I'm deconcentrated and maybe I forget, make a mess. So I went back and with Cheung Yee Keung in the night after he came back from the gym shop where he worked, and I put together and I put in order everything and every night, and he helped me a lot. He was so kind. And what I did was writing all the parts, detailing in the narration, and then I had this small tape recorder, super fancy at the time, the Sony tape Walkman, small Walkman with a super fancy microphone and stuff. And I also recorded the sound, so I could put together the sound with the descriptions. So that I went sound one, and he went ha ha ha. And then in my notes, I wrote here sound one, here sound two. So I am pretty sure that what I am teaching you now, what I am handing down to you now is exactly what I learned from Master Chan Hon Chung, and I put in order in 1984 August with Cheung Yee Keung. So again, I checked it in 2013 again with brother Chen. Well, after 1984, I kept on going to Hong Kong. I kept on training, and then when the 7 to 9 Ethanol shut down, after the shutdown, I kept on going to Cheung Yee Keung's gym. So I am pretty sure that I didn't miss anything, because at 2013's last check, everything was in order. And so I think that you can be confident that what you saw, what I'm handing you, handing down to you is the real thing. And so this is not this is hey. And remember, since the eyes are important and the sight is very important, so you look here and there, and then when you are surprised, of course, you open your small, so you are hey, and that's anger. Hey, what the heck are you doing? Why are you attacking me? And then hey, and yes, this is surprise, because probably the guy, you can read it as the guy didn't stop, didn't understand that I am a Hung Kuen warrior, and it better stop. So he kept on doing it, and then I go fun, and I open and say, hey, what you do? And then I crush him with the next technique. So I read it this way, and according to what I remember, that was the thing, and it's gone our 30 minutes. So thank you for joining this meeting, and see you tomorrow when we'll go back to the standard 6 p.m. And so we'll go on. So as always, feel free to send me your requests by mail. I try to reply by email or or directly at the beginning of the video here. So have a nice aperitivo drink, and Mark, you're welcome. And see you tomorrow. Please stay home. Temujin, thank you. Grazie a te, Temujin. Stay home, wash your hands, and be patient. And we feel prisoners, but remember that my father stayed for 2 years in the Nazi camp, not to cooperate with the Nazis as an Italian soldier. So he stayed in this situation for 2 years. So for us, a few weeks will be something that will be memories. I'm sorry for the victims, but for us will be memories, experience. So we have time to think about our stuff and train Kung Fu, because training Kung Fu brings you happiness, joys, and good feeling. Okay? Love you.